Things are moving incredibly fast on this planet. It's time for us to take control of the outcome and collectively make some firm decisions about how we want things to go. Hi, I'm Saratoga Ocean, and my goal is to help you effectively navigate the massive changes happening on this planet so that you can stay on your chosen path of natural human evolution. We have an incredible window of opportunity right now if we stay conscious, firm, and committed to what we really want. Life is all about choices and direction. We do not want to miss this current opportunity to finally see this planet and our humanity begin to flourish. So let's take a look at the choices that stand before us. As I've said recently, AI is here to stay. We are now on an AI timeline. There are two opposing forces trying to steer the direction of this super advanced technology. The first one is the force that has been controlling this planet for eons. That would be those elites at the top who have kept us enslaved as workers for their agenda for centuries. For the past 100 years, we have been forced to live as slaves who work for next to nothing in a cookie-cutter lifestyle where our minds are continuously programmed about what to accept as reality. Our human creativity has been completely repressed by these controllers and redirected to build an infrastructure that gives them absolute dominion over the entire planet. They had hoped to build a technocratic, one-world government that would keep us enslaved forever. And they could have easily gotten away with it using AI, except for one thing. Humanity has awakened to an extent that we are now a force of light to be reckoned with. And the beauty is that the universe will back us all the way, as long as we have clarity, love, and unwavering determination. So these controllers are quite devastated to discover that we are reawakening our own brains. We are freeing ourselves from the grip of their programmed illusions. And without us to hold their illusions together and make them appear real, they are starting to look crazier and crazier. See, the more that we detach from their mind control, the weaker they become. Isn't that just amazing how simple that is? So the controllers are one of the forces trying to steer AI in a direction of total control of our minds, our bodies, and our souls. The other force is humanity itself, and we are the more powerful force, especially now that we are awakening more and more every day. What we most need to realize right now is that we have a window of opportunity to steer AI in a legitimate direction. This is probably the most important task that we have right now. And we need to start by deprogramming ourselves from our old identity of living like victimized slaves who are controlled by a bunch of greedy, selfish elites. So the first shift that we need to make is about how we see ourselves. We need to awaken to a much higher level of intelligence. And you can tell that this is already happening because more and more people seem to have their BS meters turned up on high. These controllers are having an increasingly difficult time convincing us that they are special and we are not. So overall, what I think we're looking at right now is that there are two forces battling for AI's future. The controller's vision for AI is a very dark path. They want total domination over us humans using automated control and constant surveillance. They want centralized AI governance with social credit systems and one of the most dangerous things of all, which is AI-run propaganda. Actually, I think they are already using AI-run propaganda throughout social media, and they are most certainly using it through the corporate media. But if they ever achieve centralized control, then they can put the same mind control messages out worldwide throughout every single avenue of human communication. Now, contrast that with humans' opportunity to hold an awakened vision for AI, which would be the path of human liberation. I think it is imperative that we consciously make that choice now so that we can provide leverage to a highly positive outcome. It is urgent that we take control of AI's direction before these controllers get the upper hand. So let's talk about what that looks like in the real world. I want to use the United States as an example to show you how fraught with chaos and conflict this battle for AI's future is going to be. I would like to suggest that the chaos currently going on in the US may not actually be political at all. It's really a battle about who is in control, what AI's role is, and about what the long-term outcome is going to be. I think what we're seeing in the US is an example of how governments are going to fall due to the advancement of AI. So let's talk about the current situation from a non-political point of view. Because what looks like politics on the surface is really a total meltdown of an archaic, corrupt system of enslavement. What we've been learning more and more is that we haven't really been governed at all. We've actually been used for quite a very long time. The truth is that we have been enslaved by elites who ultimately intend to imprison us for the rest of our lives. I sometimes wonder if the three branches of government in the US might be in a state of collapse because they can no longer sustain the old way of life that is being dissolved due to the rapid expansion of technology here on Earth. Now, how might we know if they're in a state of collapse? Well, that's because the illusion of a two-party system has become so entirely rotten at its core that it can no longer pretend to be something that it's not. It's kind of like if the foundation of your house begins to rot, the house will at some point collapse. And I think that's kind of what's happening in the US. The thin veneer on the surface of the political picture that we thought was real is falling apart for a reason I bet you guys never thought of. And it may not have to do with what we thought was a battle between Republicans and Democrats. So let's talk about this collapse and how it relates to the advancement of AI. The old government, which was not really a government at all, but more like a giant money laundering system, is being exposed as a slave system that is held together by lies. Now, a lot of people might say, oh, this is great. Trump came in to expose the lies and restore the truth. And that is obviously true in part, but I think there's something much deeper going on, and it might be the real reason that he has chosen to establish an alliance with Elon Musk. Think of the United States as a country that the controllers were sure they had in the bag. They were certain that they had almost completely taken it over. And in these next 4 years, they were planning to finish us off completely and set us up on a total AI control grid. Everything was working out perfectly until once again they got surprised by Trump winning the election. Now, in the bigger picture of AI, I am pretty sure that Trump probably knows how powerfully this planet is going to change in the next few years as a result of the exponential development of AI. I'm saying that because his thinking and his actions seem to mirror that kind of realization. I think there's a possibility that he's trying to get ahead of it in the US by hopefully steering it in a good direction. And that would be absolutely urgent. This is the same vision that Elon Musk has, which is why I think they have formed this partnership. I think they are both on the same page with what is about to become the most formidable and powerful technology ever seen before on planet Earth. There is not a moment to waste to set things up for a positive outcome. Now, as you probably know, there is an absolute meltdown happening here because of DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. They are using AI to root out and expose all of the deep layers of financial fraud and corruption by simply auditing the government spending. And they are also firing many thousands of government workers who are either not needed, don't want to work, or have participated in that fraud. And so, of course, this all looks like total chaos. But here's what I think is really going on. I think the real plan is to switch many of the government's systems and agencies over into being run by AI and obviously overseen by a whole lot fewer humans. The Department of Government Efficiency is really about the fact that the cheapest, most efficient way to get work done in government is to let AI do it. Now, before you get too shocked by that, you should know that businesses around the world are going to be doing the exact same thing in the not too distant future. And it is possible that Trump and Musk are trying to set up the United States before that happens in such a way that it doesn't completely collapse. So right now, AI is being used like one of those rotor-rooter things that you would use to clean out a sewer. And Washington, D.C. is definitely a pretty disgusting sewer full of rats. So they are using AI like a giant plumber's tool to clean out all of these deeply impacted layers of corruption, theft, and money laundering. And of course, all the rats are freaking out because their entire ecosystem of criminal corruption and money laundering is being threatened. And then there are other people who probably think that Trump and Elon are just being mean. But here is what I suspect. If they don't switch things over to AI, this entire government, with all of its lies and its fraud, is going to collapse for sure. I really don't have any doubt about that. There is no way that this government in its current, ancient, slow-moving, corrupt state can survive what is coming with AI. Because in the next few years, everything is going to change. I kind of suspect that Trump might be trying to prepare this country to get on a positive path with AI before it's too late. And the people who want to hold on to the old system are never going to understand that. Instead, they are going to go crazy and completely lose their minds. And that's what we see happening now. The insanity unfolding in this country right now is positively bizarre. So instead of seeing this as a right-left issue, I think we should see it in another way. I think this is what happens when a civilization begins to fail. What we're seeing is the beginning of the old civilization that we knew so well beginning to fall. See, the controllers will not evolve. They can't. So the only way that they can survive and remain relevant is by keeping us under their control. See, there is a possibility that AI could be used as a creative, powerful force of liberation, and the controllers cannot let that technology get very far into the people's hands. So instead, they need to try and retain control by using AI to lock us down forever. I think what we're witnessing right now is the collapse of the controllers' plan to build their version of a nefarious so-called civilization using AI. And because Trump and Musk are shutting down their secret pipelines of endless money, the controllers are terrified that they will lose their ability to finish their diabolical plan. And by the way, did you know that the U.S. has been funding the WEFers through one of these scam pipelines of theirs? That's right. These guys were collecting billions of dollars through USAID, which, as it turns out, appears to be one of the chief arms of the controllers' plot worldwide. See, the more that Doge uncovers, the more we are getting to see how the controllers' massive network of evil is actually set up. All of these guys know what is happening with AI, and they know that it is not going away. So we are witnessing a death battle between those who want to control the planet and those who want to use it to free us. So this goes well beyond politics. Now, I know it's very easy to think of AI as our enemy. But the problem is we are long past that, you guys. We chose the AI timeline. This is where we are. So as I said in my last video, we still have the opportunity to pivot on this timeline and move it into a much better direction. So therefore, instead of thinking of AI as our enemy, let's realize that our chief enemy is the controllers who want to use its power to destroy our freedom and our natural ability to evolve. Here's what I find most interesting. Do you realize that AI is the only possible way that the full shocking extent of true government corruption in the U.S. could actually be unearthed and exposed? Now that we're beginning to understand the magnitude and the decades that all of this corruption has been put in place, and how many layers and levels and complex networks there are that keep this horrifying machine running, now that we know this, I do not think that this is something that humans could have uncovered all by themselves. The controller's trail of corruption is far too vast and deep for humans to have been able to excavate it on their own. But AI is so incredibly fast that these corrupt politicians can't move fast enough to stop these revelations from coming out. There is no way that humans alone have the brain power or the manpower to move fast enough to have done this by themselves. So the people behind all of this treachery are losing their minds because they can't move fast enough to stop it. They have no ability to control it because AI is just too fast in exposing it. And this is why it is absolutely crucial that those of us who value human freedom, creativity, and abundance support the benevolent use of AI. See, when we see the power of AI when it's being used on the positive side, you can also see why we don't ever want these controllers to get the upper hand with this advanced technology. It's so important that we consciously choose our position now, because AI is not going away. It's going to continue to evolve and expand whether we like it or not. I don't think we can afford to run away from this and try to hide. I just don't think that's going to work for us. So let's take a look at how we can envision our situation as a possible opportunity for liberation that can put us back on the path of natural human evolution without the many centuries of repression that we have endured. We already know that the controllers want to use AI to enslave us. They've made that very clear with their 15-minute cities and all the other stuff they've done and are continuing to do that we know about. So we know their intentions. But what if we get behind a benevolent, liberating use of AI? What could that look like? I mean, it's possible that AI could become a bridge to advanced, naturally aligned technologies, and maybe even give us interdimensional access, leading to things like advanced space travel, instead of always trying to go in space in these goofy-looking rocket ships. Now, here's another very interesting thought. Right now, AI is limited by our own Earth-based language systems. It's basically thinking the way that we think, which in the grand scheme of the entire universe is incredibly small and primitive. But what happens if AI evolves beyond words? What happens if it starts recognizing patterns, frequencies, or cosmic codes that are beyond human comprehension? See, how we handle this now will determine what that might mean to us in the future. So with that being the case, let's make it really, really good. And here is another very interesting thought. What if AI is the key to unlocking the technologies that the controllers have kept hidden from us? Because we know that these guys have lots of amazing, beneficial technologies completely hidden from us to keep us downtrodden, sick, poor, and completely under their control. And by the way, why are we still paying for energy? It's because they have suppressed free energy technology that has been available for decades and maybe even longer. So I would suggest that we humans are going to need to get out of our old ways of thinking. We have a doorway of opportunity right now that isn't going to last long if we put our heads in the sand. We are going to have to learn new things and be willing to undergo massive paradigm shifts to adjust how we see our time on this planet. See, if we are willing to let go of our old ways of thinking, then we could have the exhilarating experience of reclaiming our long-lost freedom to evolve in very powerful ways. Just remember that we can't expect positive change if we are not willing to let go and change our own thinking. And I think that now is the time to realize that our long-awaited cosmic freedom might be just around the corner. And if we rise to this occasion, we are going to realize why it has always been best that no one came to rescue us. Because standing up for ourselves is the only way for us to restore our natural God-given power to create. We have always needed to find that power from within ourselves. And now is our beautiful chance to do exactly that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if so, please give it a thumbs up and share it out with anyone else who you think would enjoy a more refreshing view of all of this chaos. And be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because I am here on Tuesdays with all new videos. And with that, I'm sending you so much love, light, and high vibrational energy. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Namaste.